Welcome to How to Save Your Marriage with Nicola Beer, a show full of tips and practical strategies to repair, rebuild and strengthen your relationship. If you are currently stuck wondering if your marriage can be saved, or you know you want to save it but don't know how to go about changing it, this show is for you. And now here is your host, Nicola Beer, who specialises in a proven 10-step program to help couples increase their love, passion and happiness in their marriage in 30 days or less, guaranteed.
Hi, this is Nicola Beer and I'm so pleased that you're here listening to this episode because we're talking about love. Why is loving and being loved important? Why are healthy relationships important? What makes a healthy relationship? And some studies that I'm going to share with you that have proven that healthy relationships and happy relationships are good for us. So that's what we're going to be covering today. Before we get into that, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of the people that have left a rating and review. I really appreciate it. It really spurs me on, makes me want to create more and more podcasts. And I know that people are listening. Otherwise, I don't know that people are listening. And thank you also for people who have emailed me, given me some topics that they're interested in or some problems that they're going through and they would love some topics on in their relationships. I would love to do that. So I'm scheduling them all in. And to all of you out there, just for listening, just want to say a huge thank you. Whether you're a nighttime listener or you listen when you're driving or listen while you're working out or whatever you're doing, it's a real honour to be able to share my passion and my purpose in life with you, and I couldn't do it without you. So huge thanks. I really am so grateful. So loving and being loved, why is it important? Well, we all know that there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. But yet, I believe that there's no harm in striving to make our relationships be the best they can be. And so it's really about seeking progress, not perfection, when it comes to our relationships. And that's relationships in our family, that's relationships in our workplace, that's relationships in our romantic life. Because we all want to be loved. We all want to feel valued and appreciated at the end of the day. Relationships, when they are supportive to our health and dreams, bring an enormous amount of joy. And when they're in trouble, suffering from betrayal or lack of trust, abuse, they can cause a tremendous amount of strain, of sleepless nights, of pain. Studies have shown that people who have healthy relationships have less stress. For 75 years, researchers at Harvard studied the same 600 people throughout their entire lifetime to see what determines a long, happy life. It's known as the Grant and Gulek studies, or the Harvard study of adult development. And they're some of the longest running examinations in the overall health and happiness field. Most of the participants now are in their 80s and 90s. And researchers have found some definite patterns that the happiest and healthiest people had in common. It turns out that those who lived longer and were happier had lots of high quality relationships with other people. Close, high quality relationships. So actually it wasn't about the amount of relationships that they had, but it was the fact that these people had really close, high quality relationships. Dr. George Vaillant, who headed the Grant study for 42 years, found that those with negative personal relationships or no personal relationships all died sooner. And Dr. Wallinger said that relationships are super important. They are right up there alongside not smoking, exercise, diet, not abusing drugs. Crazy when you think about it. Just how important relationships are in our lives. The most obvious message that we get from this is that love keeps us happier and healthier. Love is the most significant predictor of your happiness and fulfillment overall in your life. Specifically, the studies show that having someone that you can rely on helps your nervous system to relax, your brain to stay healthy, and reduces emotional pain. Knowing all of this is a wonder why some people choose to stay in toxic, unhealthy, or loveless relationships. Sometimes people stay in toxic relationships because it looks good to the outside world that they're married, or that they're in a relationship, or that they're having a relationship with their mum or their father, even if that relationship is causing them a huge amount of turmoil, or because they're unsure of what life would be like without that person, and the uncertainty and the fear of the unknown keeps them stuck. Some stay in toxic relationships because they have a lack of self-love to stand up for themselves and ask what they truly deserve. Deep in their hearts they may experience loneliness and long to have love, but don't believe they deserve it. These are the people that I love to help. I love to help people who are feeling stressed and lonely and empty in their relationships to turn it around. I love to help people who feel stuck, to support them to become unstuck. Because having struggled myself for many years, I know how life-changing it can be when we start to love ourselves and put ourselves first in relationships with others, and not putting ourselves